Shalom and Ahava, everybody. I'm back here with Steve Martin.
David Peterman.
We've been on, we could call it a sabbatical, but it really was not a sabbatical. I guess hiatus. We've been busy. And
I went to Israel for 3 weeks. You went?
I went to Michigan and spent some time with my family and my brothers, and so it was a good time to get away. And we had Thanksgiving.
We did. I just want to make sure these are level because I know my wife will say something about
it. My wife, she doesn't call it. She calls me it being skew.
Oh,
she says to me, she says, "You're skew." I was like, okay.
Do we care?
No, we don't. I mean,
sorry.
Our wives, they want you to look good, don't they?
They do.
They don't want you to present badly.
Yeah, can you?
Oh, is it bothering you? The hair is getting a little bit out of control.
You like our new setting? This is actually in David's home.
Yeah.
Normally we were over there, but we got some high level. We're moving up in the world. We have some high level seats here and the stone. We want to show off the work of our hands.
Yes, yes.
We did.
So many of you that may be watching may not know, but Steve helped me build this fireplace and this whole home with lots of help and
blood, sweat, and
blood, sweat, literally blood, sweat, and tears.
Right? One of those stones fall on your feet or your toes.
Yeah, we had a couple close calls with those stones. But Steve, you were gone to Israel.
I did. It was a joy, and every time I come back, I feel renewed, recharged.
Do you?
In fact, I have an accounting contracting job uptown,
right.
Which I call it my fourth tour of duty at this place. And the CEO, the main guy, he had just went to Israel for his first trip a couple of weeks ago. And when I came back last week, he goes, "Now I know why you're always upbeat and smiling after you come back from Israel." Because he's a Catholic guy, does the Ash Wednesday and all this good stuff. I'm glad he went.
I think it's very common for Christians to feel at home in Israel.
Yeah.
There's just something about being in the land that you've read all this stuff about in the scriptures and talked about, and you believe these things in your heart.
Yes.
But it becomes really quite real when you're in Israel. And when we go, our trips are a little different, right?
We're Ahava Adventures.
Yeah, we're in amongst the people. We're not really on a tour bus or anything like that.
Yes.
So what were you doing mainly over in Israel this particular trip?
First of all, I want to say thank you for praying for my friend Edgar Prasad, who was supposed to have gotten with me.
Right.
But 2 weeks before, this would have been his first trip, going to be 70 next July 4th. But 2 weeks before, he ended up in the hospital, had brain tumor, cancer's removed, and he was in the hospital for 2 months and a week.
Right.
He just got out last week.
And so he's rehabbing right now.
He is, and we're going to go.
Yeah.
Edgar, we're going to go. But it was by myself thus for 3 weeks. I stayed with our good friends Nassim and Hadassah Lerner, who live just north of Jerusalem. They've been gracious enough many times to allow me to stay with them.
Yes.
They have a great work called His Lighthouse.
His Lighthouse, and they're very hospitable.
They are.
But they are doing some pivotal work in the land too, aren't they?
Their main objective, their main role in ministry is to help Olim, those Russians, those Ukrainians, those Jews who are making Aliyah, and even Chinese Jews. They have a place in their home, a 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
Plus, across the street now, they have an apartment that they're renting out through the ministry,
right,
which they can house people, which is very vital, particularly in Israel. And you have 40,000 coming from Russia in the last few months.
And this is situated pretty close to Jerusalem,
so
that it's handy for people to get to do things that they need to do.
Absolutely.
And get supplies and get assistance from the Israeli government.
I have in fact, I'll show it to you. I call it proving I'm half Israeli. I don't have it on.
Which half? Top or bottom? Left or right?
Well, it's the bus card, I guess the transportation card for all of Israel. You can use it for the city bus, the train, the long-term, short-term trains. Yeah. And they have a bus stop just half a block from their home.
Right.
So I could get on that most mornings and go into Jerusalem, about 25-minute ride.
Yeah.
And just hang with everybody else trying to get a spot on that bus.
Right.
and go see my friends.
So were you able to get to the wall and pray for your friends?
I did. I always get a request from Moses, Julius in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Want me to record something for them.
Okay.
And then our good friends Yashudas and Pritama in India.
Yes, yes.
I always like to record for him, plus all the other friends that we have here in the U.S.,
yes.
family and friends. I'll take prayer cards, put it in the crevices.
Yeah. That's tradition. That's part of going to Israel, but it's also part of the ministry of letting the prayers be heard before God.
Absolutely. It's just an act of faith. There's nothing magical. I don't like that word, but there's nothing, though it is a very special holy place, the Kotel, the Western Wall. And when I went there in the first few years I was going, I put my hands on the wall, not knowing that a Christian could. I thought it was a holy site for the Jews, but when I put my hands on the wall, I just it came down out of the presence of the Lord.
So many places in Israel are like that for those who visit, and I think that I would like to encourage people to go.
Absolutely.
If you've never been, you need to go. One of the things, you'll never read Scripture the same way. The other thing is that it bolsters and encourages your faith.
Sure.
And
the big thing is, this is a promise, a fulfillment of prophetic word that the Lord and His prophets from the Old Testament, we call it the Old Testament, but the Torah, the Pentateuch, the prophets and Psalms, He spoke that the Jews would be dispersed out of their disobedience from the Lord, but He would bring them back to their land in our time, and it is happening.
And it's very important to be connected to the prophetic fulfillment of the things that the Lord has. And He not only prophesied about Yeshua, Messiah, Jesus, and He prophesied about what's going to happen with the Jewish people. And those things have come to pass.
And people wonder, well, why are we so connected to Israel? That's for the Jews. Well, it isn't. In Isaiah, I think it's 55, I wish I could memorize this word, but just about how we as Christians, as believers, will carry them on our shoulders and support them. And even Derek Prince, to me, one of the greatest Bible teachers that has ever lived, spoke of our debt to Israel. And he lived his last 20 years in the land. So that means from 68 to 88. I just turned 68.
Oh, yeah.
Is that prophetic? I have some stories about that. But it's happening, and we as believers are to encourage, support our Jewish brothers and sisters.
So as we've gone along here during your trip, you also spent time with some other friends of ours, right? And I can say friends of ours because we spent time with them the last time in April. So
and that's one of our desires is to spend time with those who don't know Yeshua yet, as Carolyn Hyde will say, pre-believers. I had 4 hours in the office of Rabbi Tuli Weiss, Israel 365. I used to start getting his emails years ago. I always liked the photography, the photos that he had. It drew me to that. I spent 4 hours with their staff, had sushi. On Tuesdays.
I didn't know sushi was Israeli.
They love it. In fact, in Bet Shemesh, where their office is, just 15 miles by bus outside of Jerusalem, every Tuesday they have a staff luncheon, about 15 of their on-site staff. They bring in the sushi, so I enjoyed it with them. But we had an interesting hour-long conversation. At one point, I go, well, it kind of looks like this relationship is going to end right here, just because of some of the things that were being discussed, the Messiah and who He is. But then the Holy Spirit gave me that budge to keep on going.
Well, I think it's very important that we go, and as we go, we represent Messiah. That we don't be timid about our faith, but that we proclaim our faith, and we share what's in Isaiah 53. And we share the prophecies and share, because those things are not taught.
And they know I'm not Jewish, so that I believe Yeshua, Jesus, is the Messiah. In fact, another friend on Ben Gurion Street, who has a clothing shop, I didn't get this one from him, but I have bought several hoodies from him, and he knows I'm not
Right.
I'm not buying them because I need them, but because I want to support him.
Right, right.
And he believes in God the Father, and I tell him that, yeah, I believe in God the Son too, and he's coming back, and he said, well, you may believe he's coming back, but I'm still waiting for the first time.
Yeah, it's kind of that old joke where they say, well, they're going to ask him, is this your first time or your second time, you know, when the Messiah returns. And right now even they're saying they found another Messiah, but the problem is he doesn't fulfill any of the prophetic scriptures that I'm seeing. So
was he born in Bethlehem?
Yeah, so,
was he born of a Virgin Mary?
but this is what they do. So, is there anything you'd like to add before we wind this one up?
Yeah, there's another. My friend Abraham Sadin, he has 2 shops on Ben Yehuda. I like shopping, so I got to know the shoppers 15 years ago, and I still have a relationship with them, friendships. And I was before I went, Edgar in April when we got back from our trip. Then, I mean, it was 2 weeks after they opened it up for the unvaccinated. And
right.
We were on the plane, but I was over at Edgar and Indira's home, and I was telling him about the trip. And as I sat there, Edgar points at me, goes, "You'll have a home in Israel. You'll have a house in Israel." And Indira was looking at him. She goes, "What? Speak up, Edgar. Say it louder. You'll have a home in Israel." I said, "Yeah, okay." You just kind of, yeah, all right. Where'd that come from? While I was there, Abraham took me to lunch, one of his favorite spots, just off Jaffa Street. And there was a guy sitting next to us at a table. We had gotten our food. He had already gotten his. He looked at Abraham and looked at me, and he said, "This man's going to provide for you a home in Israel." I go, "Oh, really?" Abraham kept on eating as if he didn't even hear him. I don't even know if he did or not, but he was only 2 feet away. And then 20 minutes later, the guy gets up and he points again. He said, "This man is going to provide for you a 3-level home in Israel." Oh, that's getting more specific. Again, Abraham didn't even respond. So who knows who this guy was? But it's one of those things that Lord let it be.
Well, Abraham and Uri and Nuri and all of those, Danny Boy even, those people, we love them, and that's we don't go to judge, we don't go to we share our faith boldly, but we don't pass judgment on them, and what we do is love on them. And it's we'd encourage you, if you can and have a heart to, try to partner with Love First People Ministry, because we try to go out and be the hands and feet of Yeshua in this time, in this season, for such a time as this.
That's right.
So it's good to be back with you. Shalom and Ahava, everybody. Blessings.
Amen. Good word, David.